Gridiron Grinder! Hut hut hike!
All right, party people. Thursday night, Gridiron Grinder time. I'm Ryan. With me, as always, is my buddy James. Just a couple of dudes hanging out, talking about what's going on in the NFL each week. So, obviously, last week we had the Super Bowl. And so now this week, we're going to do a little Super Bowl recap. Sound about right, James?
Sounds about right.
All right, sweetness, my man. So, is there, I guess, before we dive in, is there anything in the news that you saw from this past week that you want to hit? I'm just thinking it's going to be a fairly light episode with just one game to recap. So if you got anything, now's the time.
One of the things I saw was, have you heard about this whole Joey Porter Sr., Ben Roethlisberger drama?
Oh, they got some beef. Yes, they do.
Yeah, so apparently Joey Porter Sr. said Roethlisberger wasn't a good teammate or person.
Yeah, I think he was attacking like James Harrison too.
Yeah, so James Harrison and Roethlisberger apparently there's a like they talk shit about Tomlin.
Oh, because like a player's never had beef with their coach, right?
Yeah, and he broke the brotherhood, blah blah blah. And
Yeah, I
like
mean Joey Porter wasn't exactly like a model fucking player, right? So, um, not that I feel compelled to defend. I mean, I guess I do feel a little compelled to defend Roethlisberger because I liked him personally, but I do know Roethlisberger obviously had some weird off the field shit and whatever too, and so you know, none of these guys are fucking squeaky clean, man.
yeah, so apparently like he took issue with Roethlisberger refused to sign memorabilia for teammates' families. Apparently, it was common in the locker room.
Hmm. So 10 years later, we're gonna bitch about it.
No. 10 years. This was when Roethlisberger was a rookie.
Oh my gosh. So like 20 years later, we're gonna bitch
Yeah,
about it.
he's like, no, no, I'm not going to sign that. So once he did that, who they come and tell? The captain. When he first did it to Chris Hoke, I was like, damn, that's messed up. I grabbed it from Hoke, took it over there, and told him to sign it. But then when he did it to Aaron Smith, now I got to have a meeting with the Roethlisberger. Like, you're a rookie. You're a young guy. You can't tell my vets you're too cool to sign for my vets. Who the hell is too cool to sign for your teammate?
I mean, I do think that, you should be cool with your teammates and yeah, hey, I'll sign and whatever. But I wasn't in the locker room, obviously. I don't know like to what degree that goes on. And I'm sure some people you stay away from them because they don't want to be fucked with. But I don't know, dude. It sounds kind of weird right off the get go.
Yeah, so he he came in and apparently they just gave him a C because if he wasn't a captain, he'd probably have a hissy fit. But nobody's going to vote for him as captain because he don't have no captain quality.
Okay. Okay. So, Joey Porter's got his panties in a bunch.
Yeah.
Why? After all these years, what does it do to help him or anybody now?
Oh, there it is. You think the head coach didn't have his hand in making that player? So when you say he did nothing for you, that's crazy.
Oh, I
Then
heard
it's
that
like,
about the James Harrison stuff, right?
yeah, then it's like, oh, this is on Harrison. Then it's like,
Yeah,
damn,
I heard that comment he was making about James Harrison. Yeah.
damn. Why would you take a shot at a guy who changed your life? Because Coward didn't change your life. Coward cut you 3 times.
I don't know. I think I think I heard a lot of this started because Roethlisberger made a comment that they need to blow it up in Pittsburgh, and I guess Joey Porter didn't like that. Maybe because his son's playing there or whatever. But um, you know, to me, it's like, what? Why would you? What's the problem? Tomlin's out. Like, yeah, you should fucking blow that team up. It's if you're ever going to do it, now's the time, man. It's like, what do you gain by not blowing the team up?
Oh, this is what he said about Roethlisberger. Then Seven definitely broke the brotherhood. Out of anybody that should talk, he should never grab a microphone and really talk Steeler business. Because if we talk Steeler business, his ass is foul of all foul. The shit that he did is foul of all foul. He's not a good teammate.
All right.
Anybody in the Steelers building knows won the Super Bowl with him, but the person, he's just not a good teammate. He knows that. Anybody in the Steelers building knows that, but we protected him because I've only won one Super Bowl, and that was my quarterback. So do I love my quarterback? Yeah. But is he a good person? No. Man, sit down and shut up.
It does seem like there's some fucking weak sauce in the mix there. So
Yeah.
let me tell you something that's more recent that I saw was something about the 49ers and there's like this fucking electrical facility right by the stadium or something. And like now they're saying there's like some theory that has something to do with all the fucking player injuries. And I guess like George Kittle made some comment like, hey, like don't quote me on this, but he made some comment like we should at least be looking into it to check it out, right? And like it's like, oh my gosh, like I mean, I don't know. I don't know the science behind all that or
Yeah.
whatever, but
So
oh wow, that'd be wild, man. I did see one article was saying they believe that there could be like some fucking trace amounts of like radiation that come from it, and that maybe somehow that's like creating an issue with the players. And I mean, dude, it'd be nuts. I mean, I guess like anything can happen, but I'm just thinking like, wow, that's like that's crazy stuff, man.
yeah, so like what he was talking about was he's like, as a professional, and this is his quote: as a professional athlete, you're always trying to get 1% better. If something's affecting you negatively a quarter of a percent, you'd want to know about it. All we're saying as players is we'd like them to look into it to make sure it's not something.
Yeah.
He cited Fred Warner, who's only had one major injury in his career, and that was a broken ankle this year, and he trains at the facility year round. Um, and he said, "Look, dude, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor. Look, we'll play anywhere, for us. I think that's stuff that a lot of people smarter than me can talk about." Or that's what McCaffrey said.
I mean, it does seem like they have a lot of injuries every year, but it also seems like it just seems kind of crazy if that's true. But, I guess time will tell.
Yeah, so they're saying it could be from electromagnetic fields from the substation. Apparently, and this
Jeez.
article doesn't have it, but apparently he was talking about how there used to be trees between the facility and the substation, but all those trees died, so they removed
Oh,
them.
okay. Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, so like I mean, this is I mean it's a couple weeks older than I guess Lynch is looking into it too.
Okay.
So it deals with health and safety of players. You have to look into everything. We've been
I
reaching
mean,
out
yeah,
to
it's
anyone and
good.
everyone to see.
It's good to run it down. I would be blown away, right? Because it seems like that would expand to far more than just football at that point, where people would be like, "Oh, my fucking office is right next to something like this," or this or that, and then like, I mean, and if it's true, then I guess everybody needs to be aware. I'm just blown away that it's like 2026 and that this could be like a real thing that we haven't figured out yet, because there's
Okay.
been obviously the electrical game's been going pretty strong for a while, right? So,
Yeah. So apparently, the substation expanded in 2014
okay.
in conjunction with the opening
Nuclear power plant.
of no of Levi Stadium,
Okay.
and like I'm looking for what like I'm not seeing the quote I saw about the trees, but apparently um the steel or the Seahawks and the Patriots said no, we're not going to use the 49ers facility.
Really? So, I mean, this
Yeah,
is like a big thing, man. People are freaked out about this.
yeah. So
Wow.
they went to Stanford and San Jose State campuses to practice instead.
Okay.
So health concerns team has faced over the last decade. Low frequency electromagnetic fields from the substation.
Yeah, I just think it's crazy, dude. It's man, I don't know. You'd think the science would be farther ahead by now to fucking know better than that, man.
You can even feel it sometimes. I don't know what it is. You can feel the energy, and then a transformer explodes one day. We were practicing. Everything dies where the power station is. Uh, might make your ligaments weak. But we may have signed something. I'm going to be honest. I heard they were like, oh, it may make your ligaments weak, and I'm like, God damn, that's crazy. And then when I saw a picture, I thought we practiced right there too. That's the craziest shit ever.
And oh, I'm laughing, but it's not good. It's not good. It sounds like, man, they need to put a real team on this.
Yeah. So I mean, it seems to be getting a lot of traction.
Run it down, man. Figure out if there's something to it.
So, but it seemed, but I mean, the subs they've been practicing there since the '80s, and the substation's been there since '87. So,
So yeah, but you're saying it expanded, and so
yeah,
maybe since then something's changed.
yeah, maybe the expansion or something. Who knows? Because like the last since they've been at Levi Stadium, they've had a shitload of injuries,
Yeah, they have,
and that's when
and
it expanded.
I I know, but like part of it too is like we saw it the last 2 years with the Lions, and you're like, you're like, hey man, it does just kind of seem like some teams get fucking snake bit. And whether that's because
Yeah.
these are teams that are more physically aggressive teams or what, it's like, because we've now seen it 2 years in a row with the Lions, right? And it's like, yeah, the 49ers, it's been almost every year, but it's like maybe they got like some of the same stuff going on where just their style of play is just a little bit harder or a little bit more reckless or whatever because it just seems like you can't normally predict injuries like that, man. And yeah, I mean, the sample size between a couple teams would say something sticks out there, but is it an electrical thing or is it just, something else? I don't know. I don't know.
So looking at the map, like this substation is like literally right across the street from one of their practice fields.
Okay.
So it looks like in their buildings.
It's crazy.
It is. Well, I saw that shit too, and I was reading it, but apparently though, like the Seahawks and Patriots, they didn't use the practice field because they were assigned San Jose State and Stanford University.
Okay.
So it was an NFL decision, but was the NFL decision because of
Well, it could have just
who
been,
knows?
hey, we want you in separate places, and
Yeah,
so we're going to put you here. And, nobody from the local area can have any inside knowledge about how things are going down or what. I don't know. I don't know. So,
yeah, and apparently ESPN gets the Super Bowl next year. I didn't realize that.
hmm.
Which we talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it on the show. Next year's Super Bowl for you guys out there. Get in your shit early and get that good credit going for you because Super Bowl's on Valentine's Day next year.
Oh, ugh, ugh.
Which
It's either going to be like a double bonus day for guys, if you know what I'm saying, or it's going to be like a worst day ever for guys. So,
yeah. But outside of that, the NFL offseason schedule was announced.
okay.
So you have 5 days from now, you can start tagging people.
Oh shit, that's coming up fast. I didn't realize that.
11 days from now is the start of the combine.
Okay.
March 3rd is the deadline for tags. Start negotiating unrestricted free agents on March 9th. April 6th, teams with new head coaches can begin off-season conditioning. April 20th, the remaining teams can begin. NFL draft is April 23rd through 25th.
Okay.
Training camps open. A deadline to sign franchise tag is July 15th.
I think that's normal, right? I think July 15th is a pretty static one every year.
Yeah. But with the other part of it is the league meetings for those that want to go are in Phoenix on March 29th through April 2nd. That's where a lot of the rules changes happen.
Yeah.
Which expect kickoff rule to be on the table and the tush push rule.
Oh yeah, they're not going to give up on the tush push thing and then the kickoff. Although I don't know, was the tush push that effective this year? I didn't hear as much about it, and I know that people were saying, "Oh, well, the Philly offensive line wasn't as good," And so it's like, well, I mean, maybe we're starting to see that it was a very unique, limited, you got a fucking top two, top three offensive line and, a quarterback that squats 600 pounds, then yeah, it works. But that's like
Yeah.
maybe a more rare thing than people can put together.
So this season, the play was ran 112 times versus last season it was ran 101 times.
Okay. And what was the
Slightly more.
effective rate?
Slightly less effective this year. It was effective converting a first down or touchdown 76.8% of the time versus last year where it was 82 or I'm sorry, versus from 22 to 24 it was 82% of the time.
Okay. I mean, it's still like crazy high, but it's coming
Yeah.
down.
Eagles led the league with 27 27 tush pushes ran versus, and the Bills were second at 17, but also teams started building in their own variations to it. Like you saw, was it
The,
Pittsburgh would
the tight ends and stuff running
yeah
it. And yeah.
tight ends running it, and Pittsburgh would run a pass play out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which honestly, like to me, it's like, I think because of that, you're seeing reasons that it belongs in the game, right? Because
Yeah,
it's turning into almost like a wildcat phenomena where it's like, okay, well, a lot of teams are going to try it and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. And, you know, I do like the idea of have your fucking tight end be the quarterback on those plays because it's like,
mm-hmm.
unless you have a Jalen Hurts that squats 600 pounds, you might as well have one of your biggest bodied guys that's also a hands guy make that fucking play. But, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah. One thing, one thing. If the league wanted to get rid of the tush push instead of out, outright banning it, start calling forward progress tighter and start making the
Yeah.
official call
Yeah.
forward progress tighter. Because how many times is the guy stopped and stood up,
Hmm.
and then the linemen come in and push him forward, and they give him the forward progress.
Yeah. It's like the second effort. Yeah.
It's like, and that was my complaint, and I think it was a Bills game where Allen swung the ball forward and it was knocked out. They said it's not a fumble because it was forward progress, but then they spotted the ball where he swung it forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, how is it forward progress if the ball's moving forward?
Yeah. We're being a little loosey goosey here, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you gotta, if you force the refs to call forward progress at a tighter rate or tighter, then you definitely get rid of it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I really didn't see much news. There's a lot of assistant coaches um, hired, fired, changes. There was also Kingsbury was officially announced as the Raiders head coach, which I liked what he said.
Not Kingsbury. Or yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm
Not
thinking,
Cliff, Clint
yeah.
Kingsbury.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, old homie went to the Rams as like a
Yeah,
special whatever assistant coach or something. But yeah.
and like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
his introductory press conference, like he said something along the lines, "You don't think I'm going to walk down the hall and go talk to Tom Brady at every chance I get?" Or some shit
Uh,
like that.
Yeah, why not? Why not? They're going offense, man. They're going
Yeah.
offense.
And ESPN's going to make it a year-round experience Super Bowl, some shit like that.
Oh, okay.
Other contests include it's going to be contests. Um, Uh, we're going a 60-second spot featuring Disney characters along with personalities from ESPN and ABC. I scored a touchdown, which will spotlight 61 players who have scored in the biggest game of the year. It started apparently Sunday with David Tyree. The
Okay.
biggest game podcast with Jeremy Schaap. Fan focus initiative, blah, 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 whatever. Dude, like, it's the Super Bowl. You could not advertise it at all, and you'd still get 125 million viewers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Without a doubt, man. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 No, I'm good. Sorry, I was just skimming some of the other news and shit, and I don't want to go crazy on like scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm actually, I guess I want to talk about the game now, but no, we can keep going on the news. We can keep going on the news.
No, I'm good. I'm good to go to the game.
All right, then let's go to the game, man. And so I will just say, just starting off with the game, you know, I have talked to a lot of people that cried like babies about how this was a boring ass Super Bowl and blah 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 blah. Worst Super Bowl in years and worst Super Bowl since the Patriots and the fucking Rams and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what, man? I love this Super Bowl, James. I thought it was a great defensive battle, you know, and I think, you know, as the game went further along in the second half and the Patriots had their backs tighter and tighter to the wall, it got more and more exciting at the end, you know, but Seattle had control all the way through, right? It just so happened to be that New England was playing very tight in the first half and holding them just to field goals. And it was like anything could have happened, man. Anything could have happened in that second half until you got into the fourth quarter. And I thought it was a great game to watch. But
Yeah,
a lot of people don't appreciate the defense like maybe guys like you and I do.
no, there were a couple sloppy moments with and even in the first half, like mostly in the first half, like the offenses weren't clicking. They were off kilter a little bit, but there were a lot of great defensive plays. Like I think Gonzalez had like four fucking
Man, yeah,
amazing.
he was deflecting shit and just, you know, he was very sticky in coverage. And
Mhm.
it's like you were saying before the game to me that, you know, you thought, and then maybe in one of our GG sessions, you were thinking, man, he could be like a dark horse MVP candidate for that game if they won it, right? And honestly, you know, if they somehow pulled it off, like maybe you could have made an argument because of like the plays he was making in that
Mhm.
game. It just it never would have came up, right? Because they came up short. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and like Darnold Darnold was taking risks a lot early in the game.
Oh
We
yeah, he
talked
was,
about it.
dude,
There
he
was
was
like
slinging it. Yeah.
and like that first drive, there were like two or three plays that were like just like inches from being
A
potential
hair
interceptions.
from disaster. Yeah.
And like I think total, like I think he had like 5 plays that were rated as interceptable.
At least. At least. Yeah.
Um, but like the defense stood tall. Like later in the game, like before the first touchdown, before that touchdown in the fourth quarter, we were talking like, is Myers going to get the fucking MVP?
Yeah, you know, and so how does the MVP voting work? Because somebody was telling me the other day that special teams can't be MVP. And I thought, no way, that can't be right. And I
Well,
haven't
well,
looked it
that's not
up.
true because what's his name? What's his face was MVP of Super Bowl.
Was it what Vinatieri back in the day?
All right, so there's a 16 member media voting panel that counts for 80% of the vote, and fan voting online counts for
No, a
20%.
place kicker has never won the MVP. Okay, so you could on special teams as a returner. Okay, well, no, I don't know. The Google AI overview is making it say you could as a kicker. It just hasn't happened. See, yeah, I mean, honestly, this would have been a game where if it was ever going to happen, it was going to be it. I told you after the game, I was happy that Kenneth Walker got it because
Mhm.
I do believe he was like the main reason that their offense was churning, even though they weren't scoring. I mean, the dude had 135 rushing yards for 5 yards a carry and 26 receiving yards. He did have a couple drops. But that's not his strong suit. To me, it's like, man, when you have half of your team's yards from the running back position, and I know it wasn't exactly half, but it was damn near half of the team yards, whether you score or not, throw the dog a bone, man. I mean, he had a couple
Mhm.
big plays in the first half. I liked it, and I obviously I went to Michigan State, so I'm a little bit biased, but I'm giving you the argument both ways that if there was ever going to be a game for a kicker to get it, it's like this would have been it, right?
All right. So here is an annoying thing with the Google search. There's apparently the El Paso Times needs to learn how to learn about football and
Okay.
learn about the teams in football because according to the El Paso Times, quote, a Super Bowl kicker has never won MVP. The question is asked because Patriots kicker Jason Myers set a Super Bowl record with 5 field goals, and he was perfect on extra points and didn't mess up a kickoff. Okay, first of all,
He's not a Patriots kicker.
he's not a Patriot.
Uh,
Second of all, they scored one touchdown, so he was 1 for 1. So who the fuck cares?
yeah, that's a little weird to throw that in there too. Yep. But they're 0 for 2 on importance of comments. Yep.
And okay, I'll give you that. He didn't mess up a kickoff. Um,
Oh, no, I mean, hey, it's I think what did they say? Myers had, fucking 2,000 points this year or whatever. So,
he,
or whatever.
it says he didn't mess a kickoff, mess up a kickoff. Okay, I'm looking for it because there used to be a stat, or maybe it's in player.
206 total points. First player in league history with 200 points in a single season. Record 49 field goals, 59 extra points. I mean, man, it honestly, it's like if it ever was going to happen, this probably would have been it.
Yeah, so I'm looking and I can't find it, but like there used to be a stat on touchbacks, but
Yeah. Because the thing is, it's like, in this game, Darnold, even though he was only 50% completions, he did have 200 yards and a touchdown, right? And so it's like the way that you would need to kicker to win it based off of what you're seeing here is that there has to be like a non-running back factor and the
mhm.
quarterback maybe is only yards and no touchdown. And like that's like the only way that you could see a kicker getting it, I guess.
Yeah, and like I mean, like the game, like it followed the trend. First of all, I don't know the stat, but the high majority of the first scores in the Super Bowl is a field goal. 65% of um the teams that score first or 39 of the 60 teams to score first won the Super Bowl.
Okay, so it's statistically significant.
Yeah, and
I guess I
I
will
would,
say this, going back to the kicker thing really quick. I can see how voters would be hard pressed when he was on the field, you know, however many times, like if you're counting kickoffs and everything, and field goal kickers aren't always kicking off, right? And so it's like, you got to factor that in. Like if it was just field goals and extra points, he might have only been on the field 6 times or whatever. But Kenneth Walker, on the other hand, had 29 touches and was on the field for like 50 plays, right? And so it's like, I guess I can see why it would be very hard to pick a kicker over anyone else, right?
yeah. And another thing, I just noticed we have 3.5 minutes. Like a lot of people are getting on Vrabel for not going for 2.
Yeah, we talked about that early in the game when they scored that first touchdown.
Right, but I change my tune on it because think about this. What if they don't get the 2-point conversion? They've finally got some momentum. They score a touchdown, don't get the 2-point conversion. That kills the momentum.
Yeah, I mean, well, to me, it was a matter of timing. It was that you haven't scored all game, and now you maybe only have a couple possessions left, and you needed another touchdown and 2-point plus a field goal. And so to me, it was just that time was running out. And so it was like, unless you thought all of the sudden your defense was going to step up and get some 3-and-outs, you needed it or it was over. And then, and then obviously it never even came into being an issue. But
Yeah, and I was wrong. He had 2 extra points because I forgot about the pick 6.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right, where are we at on time? I can't even see it. My on my Mac, it doesn't give it to me until we're within a minute.
Just under 2.
Okay. Well, should we cut it now and take our 10?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's do that, man. I'll talk to you in just a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
Recording is back in progress, James. And so where the heck did we leave off, man?
Oh, we were talking about kickers and winning the MVP and
Yes.
and the Super Bowl game. It was a good game. Like, do I wish the Patriots won? Probably, but do I like the fact that Sam Darnold has his revenge from seeing ghosts to winning the Super Bowl? Yes.
All right, so let's do this. We kind of covered half of the special teams with Jason Myers, right? The other half of the special teams is really that the kid out of Notre Dame Prep, the punter for the Patriots, probably shattered whatever the punt record is in a Super Bowl because he had to punt like fucking 87 times, right? And so that's the special teams aspect of the game. Defensively, I think both of the teams played pretty good, except that, the Patriots were lights out at stopping the run all the way through the playoffs until this game. Kenneth Walker got some yards on him on the ground. And, but you talked about Christian Gonzalez had some sweet plays in the secondary. They did hold Darnold to only 50% completion percentage. Flip it to the Seahawks. Man, their defense. Did they end up actually getting the record, or were they one shy? Because I thought one of those sacks late in the game was like a penalty negated one of them or whatever. But
they did. Like,
okay, they did end up getting, what was it, 7?
I was
I think
looking
it was
for it.
7 to get the record or tie the record. And I mean, dude, the Seahawks Mike McDonald defense is just fucking. It's like otherworldly, man. Like
No,
the
they
way that
didn't
they're.
get the record. They ended up with 6. Okay, so that's what it was. The they would have had the record. The defensive touchdown was considered a pick 6, not a sack fumble.
Okay.
And that play, like if they would have if it would have been a sack fumble, it would have
Then
been
they
the
would have gotten
record.
7. Yeah. All right, and that's fine because honestly, they had is like amazing of a game as you could have gotten either way, right? I mean, it was like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that's another one where I would like to see like what is the most 3 and outs for a defense to get, because I mean it was like, I mean, dude, like it was like forever in that game before New England had a first down, man. I mean, it was like it was nuts. And I just, it's like we've talked about it as the years gone on about how there's like stout defenses, and then the Mike McDonald defense is like a different animal. The way that he uses Amon Worry and moves guys around in everything, it's like a different thing that you normally see, and it's hard to put your finger on it, but it has amazing results, and it's been that way, and it's just it was just nice to see him. The defense wins championships. They're the one that came out on top, man.
Yeah. So it's got to be the 85 Bears. Like, it's not that readily available, but apparently in Super Bowl 20 in 1985, the Patriots started the game, and these were the first 5 possessions: fumble, interception, punt, interception.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
No, that in this game, it was punt, 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 and a half. But let's see, 4 plays.
It was a lot of punts, man. A lot of fucking punts.
Yeah. So let me see. 3 and out, 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 3 and out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
no.
saying is I think there was a record amount of 3 and outs.
Yeah. Like the Patriots,
and if not,
anything.
there was at least a record amount of like consecutive 3 and outs. Because man, it was just the Patriots could not do anything. And the crazy thing is, I'm flipping to it right now. I want to say Drake May had like 50 or not. Okay, not 50. He had 37 rushing yards and 295 passing yards, and it just like
right. But the 295 passing yards is not a true stat, because he had like before the fourth quarter, he had like 50 yards.
That's what I'm saying, is it's just crazy that so much of it was like explosion in 2 drives in the game, like almost really never even mattered, man.
Yeah,
and it's always bad when your quarterback leads the team in rushing when it's like not Lamar Jackson, and that's tough. Drake May's mobile, and we talked about him being like that variable in this game, but Stevenson only had 23 yards. Henderson only had 19 yards. It's like, man, you're not doing any favors when you can't get that going, man. Stevenson, though, to his credit, did have 40 receiving yards and a touchdown, which I thought Henderson was going to be the guy catching him out of the backfield, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's part of the way the game goes. You gotta zig when they zag, right? And know that you got to do something different.
Yeah, so total offense, the Patriots had 331 yards total offense. 248 of those yards were in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I think the Patriots, they did, at halftime, they should have changed their game plan. They were playing really conservative and our defense is going to take care of it, but they weren't getting anything and they didn't change their game plan. I thought one of the key plays of the game was, and I think it was when they were down. Yeah, they right after Seattle went up 12-0. Right after 4:50 left in the third quarter, or no, 9 minutes left in the third quarter. The Patriots had 3rd and 1 at their 41, and they threw a deep. They threw a bomb. If you're going to throw a deep pass like that, you don't punt on 4th down.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking at one point. It's like, well, they kind of just need to start throwing bombs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I guess I will say this on the other side. We didn't really talk about this yet, I don't think. But Jackson Smith and Jigba was quiet in this game, but it was because what happened early on? He hurt his foot or his ankle or something. They were taping him up on the sideline.
No, so he had a blister, but he was the reason he was out a little bit of the game because he was being evaluated for a concussion.
Okay. Because I saw them and they were talking about how they taped his foot or whatever, and it was like, okay, but yeah, and it was Cooper Kupp stepped up a little bit in the passing game. Obviously, Barner had touchdown. We did see him try to go deep to Shaheed on that one play, and it was like, damn, if Darnold would have hit him, the game would have probably been over in the first half.
Oh yeah, and I said it early, they ran a double reverse to Shaheed, and it felt like that was way too early in the game.
Yeah,
to
you're
run
right.
a play like that, and I told you, unless they're setting it up to be a double reverse Shaheed pass.
Yeah.
But they didn't end up needing it. Maybe they were trying to set it up like that, but
yeah, at the end of the day, I thought it was a great fucking Super Bowl, man. One of my favorites, to be honest.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people don't appreciate these defensive games, but man, and I know some people have been like, well, yeah, but the last couple minutes it got crazy, right? And sure it did, but that's because the Patriots had their back against the wall, and then they started throwing picks and had the fumble and whatever, all that, whatever. That's fine. But to me, it's like, even if it was just a steady grind out, and instead of that action in the fourth quarter, it was like, oh, we won 18-7 or something. I would have been like, yeah, the tone of the game was amazing. The defenses were just dominating.
Well, that, and with the game, what was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought.
I don't know. The defenses were dominating, and then Kenneth Walker had, 2 25+ yard runs and showed that. Kenneth Walker's a legit running back, man. He is. He just is not a great receiver out of the backfield.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I think, and it's going to sound weird, but I think one of the best things that happened to Seattle was Charbonnet going down with the injury, because that made Kenneth Walker the clear number one.
You
They
might be
had to
right.
use him. And I'm not going to say that they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl, but it increased their chances to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, I could say that. Yeah, I think it helped, right? Because you know what you're getting with the different running backs, and
Mm-hmm.
I think Kenneth Walker's a more elusive guy. I think when Charbonnet's in, it's mostly going to be like one cut within the tackles, and
Yeah.
I think that Kenneth Walker being the guy. I mean, you saw it. He had like a little bit of that Le'Veon Bell-esque. I'm gonna wait for a hole to open and then blast through and make my moves. And if it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that, it's I'm going to the outside and I'm like hard juking a guy where I'm probably missing one tackle and going. And it was. I thought dude, his whole playoff, man, his whole playoff run was amazing.
Yeah. And like the other thing, like with New England, like poor Will Campbell.
Yeah, it sucks. Like the most pressures allowed in a Super Bowl. Yeah. I
But the
mean,
thing, the
a
thing,
rookie
thing
left tackle, man, it's tough.
but if you look at the season, like in like week like 13 or 14, he got hurt and he missed like a game or two.
Yeah.
And when he came back from the injury, he was not playing the same as he was before.
Well, now you got to go against the Seattle defense too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucked, man. And I know he's going to come back next year and be amazing and learn a lot from it, but the big question is going to be are they going to have a Super Bowl hangover, man? Because I've already seen the Vegas odds have the Patriots down farther than people would think.
Yeah.
Obviously they got Seattle like running it back, but dude, they had like fucking Baltimore at like 4 or something the other day, and I'm like, come on, Baltimore, like how could you have Baltimore that high after just how bad their defense has been these last 2 years, man? I just don't see it.
Yeah. And like, so the thing with it is I believe in the Super Bowl hangover from the losing team,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
especially when you get really dominated.
yeah.
And the other thing with it is
It tears your fucking heart out, man.
I heard like a weird stat that Vrabel coach teams against teams that are above 500. So 500 and below, he's great. Above 500, like he's only won like 3 games.
I do kind of remember that when he was in Tennessee. Yeah, and that's not good. It's I do think that we've seen a different animal this year with
Mm-hmm.
what he's got in the Patriots, but he's got to show that momentum's going to continue next year.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing with it with New England is they had like the easiest schedule since 1999.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
I know,
it's
but they did get through some nightmare defenses in the playoffs.
yeah, but they didn't play like okay.
Yeah, I
So
mean, granted, Denver had
Chargers
the backup quarterback. Yeah,
and Chargers had two probably their two best linemen out,
no, you're
and
right. You're right. So yeah, I mean, they had the stars aligned in a soft kind of way. I got you.
yeah. So
But
I
now
just
you
noticed
got a
we have
young, but now you
two
got a
minutes.
young core that's got another year to bring it together. I don't think that they're going
Right,
to
and
fall off hard next year. I think I think
I don't
I
think
think
so
they'll
either.
I think they'll have a little bit like of a revert to the mean, and we don't know what the mean is for them yet. But I don't think they're going to like go from Super Bowl to like 6 wins or something. I think they're
No, I
still
don't
going
think
to
so
be
either.
competitive.
Yeah, I think they're going to be competitive. I think they're building something right there, but like really only time will tell on how they handle this adversity will be a key factor. And we have 61 seconds.
All right, let's wrap it up, man. Make your piece. What you got to say, homie?
Go Lions.
Go Lions. Hey, I hope we can make a run next year. And yeah, like always, good GG session, James. I'll talk to you in 10 if you want to keep it rolling, man.
I gotta help with
Gridiron Grinder. Hut hut hike.